Hi everybody, it's Tim. I know it's been a while since I've done a really long video. I'm not going to make this one too long. I'm going to do like a part 1, part 2, and part 3 of what's going on in the garden. It's fall. It's the year of 2023. It's been a rough summer here in the Northeast while the rest of the country fried with lots of hot weather. We had more rain than you could possibly imagine. It is still raining right now, even below the bridge right here. I've been in the pool because I'm trying to enjoy every last minute I can in the sun before winter happens, and I have a lot to do for winter. So I'm going to take you through the garden, the good and bad. It's a little bit like last year's, except I'm going to divide it up into 3 parts. So I hope you enjoy it. Like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, I try really hard to get back to people. Sometimes I miss a question or two and then I find it and then I feel really bad, but please look for it. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the tour. So just like last year, the outside of the house, just a normal gate. One wouldn't know what lies behind here, but then we open the gate and this is what I love. It's like you're transformed a bit into a nice tropical area. So this year the bananas got gigantic. It's all my Musabastu. I think my palms grew a lot too. Had some good things and some bad things going on. But the bananas are way up to the 2nd story of the house, which I think looks great. This Washingtonia robusta, it's not my fastest growing one. There's hawks flying overhead, but it is growing and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's definitely not as big as some of my others, but the trunk's probably a good 3 feet up into about right there now. But it's got some nice, really nice new growth. Got some gingers. There's a couple of hardy bananas back here, and this is one of my lovely castor beans. And I tried to take a little bit of video all the time of this so I can show its growth. I'm going to do that on a future video. And I just had a lot of fun watching all of this grow. The gingers got really big this summer. My Phoenix Robellini, a pygmy date palm, it's doing really well. It flowered several times, as you can see the flowers on there. Sorry about all the water noise. There's lots of water features right down in here. The bees are still out. I had several attacks with yellow jackets this year, which has not been fun. And one of them was in my little Trachycarpus that I dug up that was dying, that has come back. And I'm sorry about the water, but they had like built a nest down into this pot. So always be careful when look for flying insects when you're moving pots and things like that, because that was a bit alarming. Got some grapes on this arbor here, and another Trachycarpus palm tree, some more of my bananas. This Trachycarpus back here has quite a few seeds on it, which I'm very happy about. It bloomed a different time than my males, but I got lucky with some seeds nonetheless. And maybe not as many as 2 years ago. Last year I got none, so I'm not complaining too much, but happy with that. And while we're up here, we'll just kind of go through the upper garden, maybe just on this one. So another castor bean. I grow these from seed every year. They die in the fall. You chop them down and then you bring them back and grow them again. And they seem to really love a little bit of secured location. They get really big. I'll show you some of the others later on, and they're not quite as big. This is my hardy pomegranate. It flowered more this year, but I think it just rained too much. I might have a little bit of fruit. I see a couple of flowers right there, but it doesn't look like there's any fruit. I need to go in there and really look for it. It kind of hides in there, but this tree, this bush just got gigantic this year. Some of my papyrus, I bring that inside and put it in my holding tank for my koi, And that's just one of the little ones I just kind of threw out there. And then there's another one of my Trachycarpus. I think it's gonna rain soon. It just non-stop raining. These used to be so little and they are getting so big now. While I'm up here, I'm just gonna circle around here and show you my red bananas. They're like up above the deck now. They're doing really well. So now I'm under the deck and the koi pond is over here. And my tree ferns that one of my friends gave me, that I still don't know what kind of tree fern they are, but I really, really like them. I wish it was the Antarctica variety, because then I would think about putting them outside, but that's not gonna happen. Since I don't know what they are, they're gonna come inside. The other one's doing really well too, over here. And my koi will probably come up and visit because I need to feed them. See a few of them up in here. They're a lot of fun. And even though it's the Northeast and I can totally keep them outside, I bring them inside and put them in a holding tank. And that's the Hudson River out there. A few more red bananas. And then right here is my canary date palm. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll understand that that was in a pot for many, many, many years and did absolutely nothing. And I put it in the ground 2 or 3 years ago, and it's finally starting to take off and it's getting big, and I'm really liking how it looks. Maybe I didn't plant those sunflowers there, the squirrels did, but next year I'm gonna make sure it's displayed a little bit better. But that gets covered up and lives out here for the winter. Moving on, still under the deck here, past the tree ferns, some more papyrus, one of my rubber plants I brought out for the winter. And then over here is one of my favorite palms of all time, my Chilean palm hybrid. It is doing so well. I just am so happy with this guy. This is the one I got from Gary Gregg in California, and he sent it to me in the mail October last year. I was gonna keep it inside and it was so big I panicked, and I planted it in the ground and got it through the winter just fine by boxing it in. It's doing fantastic. It's had lots of new growth this summer. It's got new growth right now and it's really strong and sturdy. I love this palm. I just think it's beautiful and I wanted one for so long. So it's very exciting having this guy. It's just, and I think it's a really pretty location here. And I'm really glad that it grew a lot this year. I wasn't expecting it to do very much at all. So really nice. I think it's in a nice spot here, up on the river, up by the house. And that's a great way I can keep an eye on it too. So just really nice. One of my date palms I grew from seed. Just a couple other things. I want to show you up over here by the house. There's some of my containers that I put my palms in. I have most of them over by the barn, but I was lazy this year. They're underneath the patio. Some more castor beans, some yuccas, and that right there is one of my tropical fruiting plants. It was supposed to be a miniature papaya that I bought many years ago, and every summer it just grows. I mean, it's probably 12 feet tall, at least 10 feet tall. Maybe I'm exaggerating. So it's always difficult when I bring it in. I've chopped it down a couple of times. It wasn't looking very good at all this spring. It definitely came back. So I have to figure that out. And over here is one of my Mediterranean fan palms. It's doing great too. I think it actually grew a lot this year, and I'm really happy about that. So one sad thing over here, and I'm trying to bring it back. One of my Trachycarpus that was doing really well, made it through the winter just fine. It just died over here. It just stopped the new growth. It was pushing out dead fronds, so I chopped it off. I think it's a goner. I'm trying to show you right here. I mean, that trunk right there is a good 2.5 feet tall. I'd had it for quite a few years. It made it through some bad winters, and this year it just, something did it in. So not sure why, but this garden is a little overgrown around the koi pond. I think I need to contain it next year. So I need to watch this in the spring, and maybe a few too many dahlias, a few too many bananas, a few too many of everything, but that's kind of what I do. And I think that's a good place to stop part 1. I stayed below 10 minutes, so please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll be posting the new stuff very soon. Thank you.